Hello everyone, welcome back to our lesson series on learning about sports and outdoor activities. So today in this lesson we are going to learn about netball. So I believe that you have got quite a knowledge about netball from your previous grades. And this video that I'm doing is much focused on whatever the content we have for grade 10 only. If we talk about the team composition, in netball, a standard team consists of 7 players on the court at any given time. However, according to the rules, a team can still play with a minimum of 5 players if they are short on players, like due to injuries or any other reasons. And in a game, a team can register up to 12 players for a match, and that includes the starting 7, the 7 players who should be on the court all the time, and also up to another 5 substitutes. And these substitutions can be done during breaks or in case of injury. The minimum requirement is to have at least 5 players in the game in order to continue the match. Otherwise, that particular team forfeit the match. Forfeit means that they lose the chance to continue in the match. So if we talk about the starting positions and the center pass rules in netball, at the beginning of the game, only the center starts inside the center circle. All other players have to stay inside their respective goal thirds until the referee blows the whistle. And then when the game starts, all other players, they can move into the center third to receive the ball. And then when the game begins, like I said, the referee blows the whistle, and the center from the team with the first center pass, that means the one who's staying inside the center circle, must pass the ball within 3 seconds. And that pass must be made following the footwork rule. That means they cannot lift or drag their landing foot before passing the ball. And then the ball must be caught within the center third by a teammate. And after a goal is scored, then the center pass goes to the other team, whether that particular team scored a goal or not. So that kind of ensures that both teams get equal attacking opportunities throughout the game. When it comes to the basic skills or techniques of netball, there are 5 basic skills such as ball controlling, footwork, attacking, defending, and shooting. So in this lesson, we'll be talking about attacking, defending, and shooting furthermore. When it comes to attacking in netball, attacking means you're trying to move the ball towards your goal post by passing it among your teammates, and at the same time you are trying to avoid your defenders. And the whole idea of attacking in netball is to score a goal. And there are several ways how defenders can legally disrupt the attack. Although you try to attack the defenders, that means from the opposition team, they can try to defend your attack. There are legal ways. One is blocking the pass. That means they can prevent the attacker from receiving a pass. And another way is by marking players tightly. That means they can stop the attacker from moving into an open space. And the other method is pressuring the passer. That means you're making it harder for the attacker to pass the ball effectively. That is what can be done when it comes to defenders in order to legally disrupt the attack. And how can the attackers overcome defenders? So in order to successfully advance the ball, the attackers have to be quick and accurate when passing their ball while avoiding all those interceptions. And they can try to move into open spaces before receiving the ball. And also they can communicate with their teammates using signs, cues, sounds in order to receive the pass. So you're expecting the pass, you can communicate with your teammates, and also you can dodge yourself to get away from the defenders. So these are some of the things that the attackers can do to overcome defenders. When it comes to attacking in netball, attacking means you're trying to move the ball towards your goal post by passing it among your teammates, and at the same time you are trying to avoid your defenders. And the whole idea of attacking in netball is to score a goal. And there are several ways how defenders can legally disrupt the attack. Although you try to attack the defenders, that means from the opposition team, they can try to defend your attack. There are legal ways. One is blocking the pass. That means they can prevent the attacker from receiving a pass. And another way is by marking players tightly. That means they can stop the attacker from moving into an open space. And the other method is pressuring the passer. That means you're making it harder for the attacker to pass the ball effectively. That is what can be done when it comes to defenders in order to legally disrupt the attack. And how can the attackers overcome defenders? So in order to successfully advance the ball, the attackers have to be quick and accurate when passing their ball while avoiding all those interceptions. And they can try to move into open spaces before receiving the ball. And also they can communicate with their teammates using signs, cues, sounds in order to receive the pass. So you're expecting the pass, you can communicate with your teammates, and also you can dodge yourself to get away from the defenders. So these are some of the things that the attackers can do to overcome defenders. So as you can see, it is really tactical for the attacking player to catch the ball and pass it to a team member, because they have to avoid the obstructing player, the defenders as well. So there are some activities that they can do which are useful in developing this particular skill. One is running around obstacles in a zigzag, and then running sideways, running backwards and forwards, running while changing the pace. That means you go fast, you go slow alternatively, and then running while abruptly changing the direction, running changing both pace and direction. You change your direction, you change your pace. That means how fast you are. So these are some of the activities that one can use to practice this particular skill when it comes to attacking. Okay, so when it comes to defending in netball, the main goal of a defender in netball is to prevent the opposing team from scoring, and they try to regain the possession of the ball. So when it comes to effective defending, that particular defender requires quick thinking, agility, and teamwork. There are some key defensive skills that a good defender should have, like marking efficiently. That means they can stay close to the opponent and limit their movement. And then obstructing passes and shots. That means you put pressure on the attacker to make inaccurate passes or missed shots. Like when you put pressure on the attacker might make inaccurate passes or miss the shot. And then immediate defensive reaction. That means as soon as the ball is passed to the next player, you quickly focus on the next attacker to prevent the ball from passing any further. Then reading the opponent's tactics. That means you have to observe the opposing team's playing style and expect their movements. And then there are several defensive strategies. There are many other more. So teams, players, they follow these strategies from time to time. One-on-one marking. One-on-one marking means they stick to an assigned player. The defenders stick to an assigned player and restrict that particular player's movement. And then there's another strategy called zonal defending, where the defender covers a specific area rather than individual players. Then there are interceptions, means you predict passes before they happen and then you step in to regain the possession of the ball. And communication means the defenders must talk to teammates. Talk in the sense use signs or cues to alert them of threats. So shooting means putting the ball through the ring on the goal post from within the goal circle. This is called shooting. And shooting can be done with a single hand or else with both hands. And when shooting the ball, it's important to control the arms and legs correctly. So when it comes to this movement, you have to keep the body erect, body straight, and raise the dominant hand and hold the ball with the fingers. You hold the ball with the fingers, and the ball should be above the head and kind of in front of the forehead. The free hand is just kept on the ball as a support. And then when you start shooting, you have to bend the knees slightly. And then you stretch your arms as the body straightens from the knees to shoot. Then you release the ball from the hand so that the ball is pushed upwards with the wrist while aiming at the ring on the goal post. So several activities can be performed in order to make the shooting skill successful. One can practice shooting at different places within the goal circle, or they can practice shooting while being obstructed by a defender, and also they can practice shooting by catching the ball sent by another player to the goal circle from different places and then try to shoot. So if we talk about netball rules and regulations, netball is governed by the International Netball Federation. Now it's known as INF. Earlier it was called IFNA, now it's called INF. And the game is played according to 21 key rules, including those related to attacking, defending, and shooting. So we are going to discuss some of the essential rules. And when it comes to rules in attacking, defending, and shooting, one of the rules is contact rule. That means a player must not knock, push, strike, or grab the ball from an opponent. It's not allowed. And then there's an obstruction rule, like a defending player, they cannot stretch their hands sideways to block an opponent. They cannot use their hands, like they cannot stretch their hands to block an opponent. And then there's the 3-foot rule, which 3 foot means like 0.9 meters. That means when defending, a player must stand at least 3 feet away from the player who has the ball. That means the defender must be away at least 3 feet from the attacker. And then the shooting rule, that means the shooter cannot be obstructed by a defender who stands within less than 3 feet. So like we talked before, when shooting, defending can be done. but the defender cannot stay within the 3 feet from the shoot. And if there are any kind of rule violations, there are certain consequences of that. Like if a player violates any of these rules, usually the opposing team is awarded a penalty pass. Like that means they are given a goal scoring opportunity. They get the chance to score a goal. And the offending player, they must stand beside the opponent. That means that offending player cannot interfere or defend until the ball is released. There are also toss-up situations, like in the following cases. The referee restarts the play with a toss-up. So when both the attacker and a defender grab the ball simultaneously, they follow this toss-up situation. And if both players commit an offense at the same time, that is like which leads to play obstruction, then there's a toss-up situation. And if both the attacker and the defender move to an offside area, to an area where they're not allowed to play, and one or both of them gain possession of the ball, there's a toss-up situation. So in these cases, what the umpire or the referee does is that he tosses the ball between the two players in the play area, and the one who receives the ball keeps on passing the ball. The game continues after that. If we talk about the duration of the game, at national or international level, a game usually consists of 4 15-minute quarters. And each of these quarter is 15 minutes long, like I mentioned before. And in the first quarter, they get a break of 3 minutes. In the second quarter, it's a break of 5 minutes. And in the third quarter, it's a break of 3 minutes. So the two teams, they should change their sides after each quarter. So that's the rule. So when it comes to the officials in a netball game, a netball match is usually overseen by a panel of 6 officials, and each of these persons is responsible for different parts or different aspects of the game. So there are usually 2 umpires, 2 timekeepers, and 2 scorekeepers. So the role of the umpires is to control the game. They enforce rules, make sure that the players follow the rules, and they make decisions. So umpires decide their side by tossing a coin. They toss a coin and decide which half of the play area is they are going to watch. And each umpire usually stands facing the court, and they are responsible for judging the half of the court to their right. And there are 2 timekeepers. Their role is to keep track of the match time, the stoppages due to any kind of injuries, and breaks, because there's a particular duration for each quarter. They have to make sure that the game runs for the correct quarters. And then there are scorekeepers. Their role is to record the goals scored, and or else if there are fouls committed by each team. So their responsibility is to maintain an official score sheet and communicate with the umpires if it's required. And when we talk about the court division for umpires, so the umpires, they split the court into 2 halves. Like if umpire A judges the right half of the court, the umpire B judges the left half of the court, and then they oversee the boundary lines, the goal areas, and the player movements within their designated area. And in this slide, you are looking at some of the hand signals used by a netball umpire. So that brings us to the end of the lesson on netball. under lesson 4 and stay tuned for more lessons.